Hello, my dear students. In this session, we are learning one more important topic of electrochemistry: conductors, insulators, and semiconductors. Myself, Jairaj Hegde, and let us get into the topic. In day-to-day life, we have seen many substances which conducts electricity. Similarly, many substances which don't conduct electricity. Based on their capacity to conduct electricity or the magnitude of conductivity, the substances are classified into three types. Conductors, which means they are the good conductors of electricity. They conduct electricity, like metal wires, metals. Usually the metals are good conductor of electricity. Second type is insulators. What are insulators? Which don't conduct electricity, like plastic, wood, glass, ceramics. They don't conduct electricity, so that's why they are called as insulators. And third type of classification is semiconductors. These are the special type of species, like silicon and germanium. They conduct electricity, but however their conductance depends on a temperature. If you increase the temperature, conductance increases. Their magnitude of conductivity is very less, but that magnitude increases with increase in temperature. Let us study one by one. Conductors. What are conductors? These are the substances which allow the passage of electric current through them, are called conductors. That means they allow the electrons to pass through it. They allow the current to pass through it. So that's why we call them as conductors. They have actually a high conductivity value. Their magnitude of conductivity is very high, so that the current can easily flows through that type of materials. Examples: metals, some electrolytes. We are studying this quite a bit later. So the metals and electrolytic solutions, they are very good conductors of electricity. The next type of classification is insulators. See, the insulators, they do not conduct electricity. They have very low value of conductivity. They don't allow the current to pass through them. So that's why we call them as insulators. Example: glass and ceramic, even plastic and wood. These all are the examples for insulators. And third type of classification is semiconductors. Semiconductors, these are the substances which have moderate value of conductivity, which values of conductivity is in between conductors and insulator. As I have already told you, their conductivity usually increases with increase in temperature. Example: silicon and germanium. Silicon and germanium are the very good example for semiconductors. Is there any material which has zero resistivity or infinite conductivity? That means there will not be any loss in the current conductivity of the current. There will not be any loss of current when it passes through it. So is that material is possible? Yes, of course it is possible. Those are called superconductors. What are actually the superconductors? Superconductors, they have zero resistivity, or they show 100% conductance. Usually in the MR scanning center, the one example you are seeing, the picture you are seeing is an example for MRI. And in the MRI scanning center, we use niobium superconducting alloy, which are used in MRI scanning. And the another example, important example for is YbCO, yttrium barium copper oxide. It is one more example for superconductors. So let us go for conductors. See, as in this entire session in the electrochemistry, we are considering the conductance of electrons. So that's why let us study the conductors. We have two types of conductors. One is electronic conductors like metals, and the other one is ionic conductors like electrolytes. Here you should have to have a noteworthy point. Metallic conductors are also called electronic conductors. Why we call it as electronic conductors? Because in the metallic conductors, electrons are the charge carriers. The current carriers are electrons, and the another one type is electrolytes or ionic conductors. Why we call it as electrolytes or ionic conductors? Because in electrolytes, that in the electrolytic solution, the current is carried by ions. So here ions are the current carriers, and in the metallic conductors, electrons are the charge carriers. It's a noteworthy point and bit important. See, what are electronic conductors? Let us learn it. Electronic conductors are also called as metallic conductors. In this case, they conduct electricity by the movement of electrons, because here the electrons are charge carriers. Therefore, the metals are the electronic conductors. See, what exactly happens whenever the battery is connected to the bulb, and if the circuit is closed, what happens? The current flows from battery to bulb. So now the bulb starts glowing. In this case, the conductivity is done by the electrons, flow of electrons which are present in the metal wire. The extra electrons which are present in the metal wire, or the electrons present in the conducting band, they are responsible for conduction of electricity. Let us learn the factors which influence on conductivity of the metal. The first factor is number of valence electrons. Higher the number of valence electrons, higher will be the conduction. See, the number of electrons, if the is increased, then there will be more possibility of movement of those conducting band electrons. So that's why conduction is more. Temperature. As the temperature increases, the conductivity of the metals decreases. It's a very important point, because in electronic conductors or the metallic conductors, as the temperature increases, the conductivity decreases. This is because the number of electron, if you increase the temperature, there will be more number of vibrations are possible. Higher the vibrations, higher the chances of collision of electrons with those molecules. So that's why it will become quite difficult for the electrons to move. It's as good as an example. If there will be more number of traffic, if there is no traffic signal, in the traffic signal more number of vehicles are wandering here and there, then it will become quite difficult for a person to do the delivery. The same way, the electrons are the charge carriers. If there is too much number of movements or the vibrations in between the molecules, then it will become quite difficult to travel for that electron. So that's why increase in the temperature, conductivity of the metal decreases. However, for semiconductors, increase in temperature, the conductivity increases. That is because increase in the number of electrons, charge carriers. The third type is nature of the conductors. Different metals will have different conductivity values. See, copper has one of the highest conductivity values, whereas some metals like tungsten, they have very low conductivity values. Similarly, the nature of conductors are also important for the value of conductivity. Now let us learn what are ionic conductors. Ionic conductors are also called electrolytes. Here they are also called the ionic conductors. Why? Because in electrolytes, ions are the charge carriers. These are nothing but salt solution or molten salt. So here they conduct electricity by movement of ions in the aqueous solution. Either in the aqueous solution or in the molten state, they conduct electricity. See, these ionic conductors, they conduct electricity either in the molten state or in aqueous solution. Usually we consider aqueous solution for that matter. The electrolytes are called ionic conductors or electrolytic conductors. So let us see what exactly happens. Let us assume this is a solution. Let us assume it's an electrolytic solution. Whenever the electrodes are connected electrodes are dipped in the solution, and if you start connect it to battery, when the circuit is closed, what exactly happens? The electrons starts flowing from metal. Electron starts to flowing from metal, but here there will not be any metal. Here the conduction is carried out by the ions present in the solution. Whatever the electron will come through the electrode, these electrons or the charges are transferred by the ions present in the solution. These ions are the charge carriers. So from here to here and from here to here they are metallic conductors, but here what exactly happens? It is because of electrolytic conductors or ionic conductors. Let us learn the factors influencing on ionic conductivity. The first factor is nature of the electrolyte added. Let us learn it bit later. We have two types of electrolytes, strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. Depending upon what type of electrolytes is added, the conductivity differs. Size of the ion produced or their solvation. Actually what happens, the smaller the size of the species, higher will be the moment. Smaller the size of the species, higher will be the moment. But exactly what happens, if the ion is smaller, it occurs more solvation. If higher the solvation means the deposition of water molecule or the solvent molecule on ion. If ion is smaller, more number of water molecule come and accumulate, so that the net size of the ion increases. So that's why its conductivity decreases. Smaller the size of the free ion, higher will be the solvation. So that's why lesser will be the conductance. But in other words, the smaller the size of the hydrated ion or the solvated ion, higher will be the conduction. See exactly what happens. If we assume that lithium plus and cesium plus are there in the solution, there will be competition between cesium plus and lithium plus. If lithium plus is very small, whereas cesium plus is very large, huge molecule, huge ion. But exactly what happens, around lithium plus there will be more number of solvent molecules accumulated, but around cesium plus less number of water molecules accumulated or attached to cesium plus. So that's why cesium plus moves in a faster rate than lithium plus. The third factor which influence on the conductivity is the nature of the solvent and its viscosity. If the solvent is more viscous, it will become very much difficult for the ion to move. It will be a hindrance for the movement of ions. So that's why conductivity decreases. Higher the viscosity, lesser will be the conductance. The concentration of the electrolyte. See, if there is an increase in the concentration of electrolyte, there will be decrease in the conductivity. Always conductivity increases with dilution. Higher the concentration, lesser will be the conductance. The temperature. See, this is a point where you should have to consider with metallic conductors and electrolytic conductors or ionic conductors. Here, that if you increase the temperature, the conductivity increases. As we have seen in metallic conductor, if there is increase in the temperature, there will be decrease in the conductance. Whereas here, if there is increase in the temperature, there will be increase in the conductivity. So this is because if you increase the conductance, if you increase the temperature, the movement of ions increases. the mobility of the ion increases, so that ion moves in a faster rate, lead to increase in the conductivity. Let us learn types of electrolytes. We have two types of electrolytes, strong electrolytes and weak electrolytes. What exactly the strong electrolyte is? Strong electrolyte is that particular electrolyte or the ionic compound which dissociates completely when you dissolve in water. Let me take the NaCl. If you add NaCl to water, all NaCl will convert it into Na plus and Cl minus. Strong electrolytes, these are the electrolytes which dissociates completely when dissolved in water. But what about weak electrolytes? They don't dissociate completely, they dissociate partially. So that's why we call it as weak. They don't dissociate to complete, they dissociate partially. Example, NaCl, KCl, HCl, NaOH. Remember, all strong acids, all strong bases and all salts of strong acids and strong bases are the examples for strong electrolyte. Similarly, weak electrolyte means all weak bases, all weak acids, all weak bases, all weak acids and the salt of weak acid and a weak bases are the examples for weak electrolytes. In this case, acetic acid, ammonium hydroxide are the examples for weak electrolyte. Remember, we feel HF, hydrogen fluoride, HCN, hydrogen cyanide, they feel they are the acids, true, but they are not the strong acid, they are the weak acid. This is very important point. HF, hydrogen fluoride or hydrofluoric acid, and HCN, they are weak electrolytes, not strong electrolytes. HF and HCN are weak electrolytes. See, here all ionic compounds are dissociated to form positive charge and negative charge. Here the complete dissociation has occurred, whereas here the dissociation is not complete. Only few ions are undergone dissociation, whereas many molecules are in together. The dissociation is not complete, the dissociation is partially. Thank you for watching. Thank you.